First Nations are heading back home, about just a little over 200. Now, just to be clear, they're not breaking any sort of evacuation order that the province has set for them. They were never under a mandatory evacuation order, just that they had many elders as well as young children in the community, and they were affected by a lot of the smoke. So they chose to come down here to Regina. So about 200 are heading back. Many more are still staying here because they have serious medical conditions. Over 116 wildfires active today. 113 rather. 6 new ones in the last 24. Here's another big number. The amount of area that has been affected by burn fires, or currently going on right now, 400,000 hectares. Now, to put that in comparison, the entire city of Regina is just 14,000 hectares.
That's the CBC's Adrian Chung reporting from Regina. Meanwhile, a smoky haze continues to cover the southern coast of BC, and dozens of wildfires burn across that province. Air quality advisories remain in place across southern Vancouver Island, the mainland coast, Metro Vancouver, and the Fraser Valley. Eurozone finance ministers gathered today in Brussels to hear how the Greek government plans to rein in its spending in exchange for new loans. But they heard nothing of the kind. Instead, Greece is planning to ask for more money from the European Emergency Fund to keep its economy afloat while it comes up with a plan to restructure its debt. But Finnish Finance Minister Alexander Stubb says Greece shouldn't count on it.
We're not willing to ease Greece's debt burden. We did that already in 2011. We did that also in 2012. We fully respect the result of the referendum. The door of the negotiations remains open, but at the same time, that door is very conditional, and I think we're all running out of time.
Heading into the talks, French President François Hollande said all leaders want Greece to stay in the Eurozone. Athens has to come up with a proposal for serious and credible reform, and it must do it soon. The federal finance minister says he is confident Canada will not find itself in a recession. Toronto Dominion is the latest major bank to say it's likely the economy was in recession in the first half of the year. Today in Vancouver, Joe Oliver is asked about the downgrade in economic projections.
We rely on the forecasts of 15 private sector economists. We take the average. Now, there have been a number of those economists that have readjusted the numbers down, and so that's that's part of the picture.
Oliver also noted that Canada's growing trade deficit is a serious issue. The federal Liberal leader says he will immediately launch an inquiry into missing and murdered Aboriginal women if he becomes Prime Minister. Justin Trudeau was speaking at the annual general meeting of the Assembly of First Nations in Montreal. Trudeau says that unlike Stephen Harper, he believes this is a national tragedy that must come to an end.
What else can we expect from a leader who refuses to admit that the disappearance and death of nearly 1,200 Indigenous women and girls is an ongoing national tragedy that must be brought to an end? A Liberal government, in contrast, will immediately launch an inquiry.
Opposition leader Tom Mulcair says if he becomes Prime Minister, his government will call a national inquiry into missing and murdered Aboriginal women in the first 100 days of taking office. Neither Prime Minister Harper nor Minister of Aboriginal Affairs Bernard Valcourt are at the AFM meeting. That's the CBC.